Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you another misunderstood movie review, and today I have controversially chosen the 1993 horror thriller The Vanishing. Now this is a film that is directed by George Sluizer, and it is a remake of his own film with the same title called The Vanishing that was released in 1988, and it was a Dutch film. Now, this film stars Jeff Bridges as Barney, Kiefer Sutherland as Jeff, Nancy Travis as Rita, and famously as well Sandra Bullock as Diane. Now, I believe it was Sandra Bullock's first screen performance. I could be wrong there, but I think it was certainly one of her first, even if it wasn't her first. Now, this film tells a story of Jeff, Kiefer Sutherland's character, who at the beginning of the film you see is on vacation with his girlfriend Diane, played by Sandra Bullock. They stop at a gas station. She goes inside to get some drinks and things, and she goes missing. Jeff has no idea where she's gone, and he spends the next 3 years desperately searching for her with no clue as to what happened to her and where she is. However, Jeff Bridges' character Barney, this is not a spoiler because you see it very early on in the film, has abducted her, and even though you don't necessarily know what he does with her early in the film, it's clear that this is what has happened. And he's fascinated by Kiefer Sutherland's character Jeff, his obsession, his need to know what happened to her, and his constant search to find answers. And he decides to make contact with Jeff and offer him this one chance deal to find out what happened to Diane. Now, this film, like I said, it's a remake of the director's own 1988 Dutch film, The Vanishing. Now, a lot of people really love that film, the original, and I have seen it, and it is a very good film. There's no getting away from that. And this film, everyone says, oh, it's an inferior remake, blah blah blah. Yes, there are a lot of things you can say about this film. Is it as good as the first one? Well, very few remakes are as good as the original. But I think the main problem with this film, with many people, is they changed the ending. They gave it a happier ending. So basically they are the same film with two different endings almost, in a lot of ways. And I think this film gets a lot of stick because it went for a happier, more crowd appealing ending. And it really detracts from an otherwise really brilliantly made film with some excellent performances, chief of which is Jeff Bridges, who plays Barney, who I think gives one of his best on-screen performances, playing this really creepy, out of sync character that you just, it's a fascinating acting display by him. It's so weird and so creepy, it makes you wonder how he ever got married and had a daughter, because he's just, he doesn't feel or act normal or act natural. It's a really fun, brilliant, interesting performance by Jeff Bridges, and I think it's disappointing that his performance does not get praised enough. Also, Kiefer Sutherland, I think, is excellent. He plays his character really well. This torturous thing that's happened to him, and is no knowledge of what's gone on, and his obsession to find the truth. I think Kiefer Sutherland does a really good job here. Nancy Travis, who plays Rita, who is the new love in Jeff's life after 3 years, and the one who is trying to get him to put his past behind him, things like that. I've always been a fan of Nancy Travis, and she's excellent in this film. Very strong female character in this film. A lot of people again don't like her character in this film because she's the main one that changes the ending, if you like. And Sandra Bullock is fine in this film as Diane, even though she's only in it reasonably briefly at the beginning and later on in flashback scenes. So I just don't think this film gets the respect that it deserves. I just think it's wonderfully made. The director knew how to tell this story because he's told it once before. I'm guessing he was probably pressurised to change the ending. and I understand that, you know, that's how the Hollywood system works, but I don't actually mind that much, because I sometimes prefer happy endings, and you know, it's not necessarily, you know, a sweet and sickly happy ending here. It's still a very, very dark ending in many, many ways. It's just different from the original ending, and a lot of people just can't get over that fact, and I completely understand that. So for me, I really, really enjoy this film. I really think it's very, very impactful, very, very effective. It moves along at a really nice, tidy pace. It's got great performances in it, looks great, feels great, and it's one of those that I think a lot of people have either forgotten about or don't generally think they should be watching, because it's got that label of a terrible remake. And I don't think it is a terrible remake at all. I just think it's different from the first one, and in some ways they almost complement each other. I think if you watch the first one, the original, and then you watch this, you almost get like a, I don't know, so, you know, sometimes when you get special editions of films and you got these deleted scenes or different endings tacked onto the Blu-rays, it almost feels like that, you know what I mean? The same film with the darker ending in the first one and the happier ending in the second one. And my understanding is as well, with the original one in 1988, they did actually film a happier ending similar to the one that we see in this film. They just didn't use it, so it was obviously in their mind at the time when he made the first one, and he obviously went for the darker ending there and the lighter ending here in this one. So I've always been a fan of this film. I really, really like it. I really, really appreciate it, and I think it's one of Jeff Bridges' finest performances today as well. So I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I don't think it gets enough respect, which is why I'm calling it a misunderstood movie. So let me know your thoughts on this film. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Do you think it's underrated, this film? I certainly do. So that is my review for The Vanishing, the 1993 version. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I'll see you back for more reviews on Screen Stars very, very soon.